Hello, Damon.
Hello.
Hi there. How's it going, Chief?
Hi.
Right, we're all set up. We're all good to go.
Right, cool.
So what I'll do,
Yeah, no,
right?
I'm good.
What's that?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm ready.
You're good. Nice one. So yeah, this is the Disconnected Vibe show, and
Okay.
we've had a lot of your guys' tunes on our playlist of late, and
Okay.
obviously, like with the advent of your trip over to New Zealand. Will just be basically for the listeners who aren't so familiar with you guys. You are London-based production duo Al Bleak and Kid Drama. That's Alex Green and yourself, Damon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Damon Drama, Kid Drama, whatever.
got a long list of pseudonyms going on. But
yeah.
so
I'm dropping the kid now because I'm in my 30s, so.
yeah, it's not gonna cut it anymore, is it?
No, can't get away with it.
So you guys have been releasing your music under the moniker Instrumental.
Yep.
How long's that been going on for you guys now?
The instrumental name's probably been going about over 10 years easy. Yeah.
Basically,
obviously we took a massive gap out.
I was good. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I was obviously like you guys first came to my attention in recent years with your debut release Comanche on Dark Estral.
Yeah.
My initial thoughts when I heard that was there was a drum and bass tune that appeared to be of substance. For me, like the genre kind of left me cold a while ago. So I was doing some sniffing around on Discogs, and I found that you're also responsible for a few collaborations on Source Direct's Demonic imprint.
Yeah, that's right.
I was just remembering
back in the day.
Yeah. I used to play that Snowblind track back in my drum and bass heyday.
Right. Okay.
And
yeah, so we were doing sort of quite more minimal things back then as well, like with Jim Source Direct, and we just kind of had a big gap out, and this was a continuation of sort of, I suppose, where we left off, just sort of coming with something new.
So what was going on between now and then? You just sort of sitting around playing golf?
Well, no, Alex, other half of Instrumental, had a daughter, so he was sort of doing his thing there. We all kind of partied out very hard back then. So everyone burnt out pretty quick.
Right.
I sort of went back to work and I carried on sort of like tinkering around on the studio, just messing around with a lot of the digital stuff because we were all hardware based. So I was playing with all the new digital stuff that was coming out and just kind of messing around, and then we set the studio back up like about 4 years ago now, I think, and slowly sort of like honed our skills to sort of what we're doing now.
Would you reckon it might be fair to say that like your output now, like there might be in any way like some kind of reflective nostalgia going on there? Like you talk about the old kind of like rave heyday and perhaps overdoing it a bit and stuff. Would you say there's like any nostalgia reflected in like your current output compared to like some of the other bits that you were putting out back in the day? Or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously now 10 years has sort of passed. We're sort of like in our 30s. We've got quite a lot of emotion goes into the music now. And yeah, like a lot of nostalgia. We just try to portray sort of like emotion in our music, whether it be even like the darker stuff. You can always hear there's some sort of like a cold emotion, but it's never sort of like lifeless. Like everything sort of has something going on in it. I mean, yeah, we've just got a very eclectic taste of music, and we try to sort of put that out in the sounds we're doing as well, sort of mix it in at what we're doing at that tempo.
Not wishing to kind of whinge on about past glories, when the future's so bright, like musically at the moment. But how do you guys view? And I'm sure you might be sick of, may or may not be sick of it. How do you guys view the trajectory of drum and bass as a genre over the years, kind of dating from those earlier days of kind of blue note metalheads, Reinforced, etc., like to where we are now, kind of?
Yeah, I feel like what we're doing now, like with the music, is kind of, for me, a continuation of where it left off in the mid-90s, when it got really experimental with like optical, airbrush, boomerang, all the really good sort of forward-thinking music. I feel like what we're doing now is a continuation from them, but where it went, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe should have changed its name from drum and bass because, like it went from hardcore, jungle, drum and bass. It should have evolved into something new because a lot of the stuff I hear the big DJs play now, for me, that's not drum and bass. That's not how drum and bass was for me. So
yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
It's difficult to say that I make drum and bass because for me it just isn't that. So I try to say, yeah, we do electronic music because it's got more in line with that than it has sort of drum and bass now.
So I remember back then, like you were saying, like, I mean, the medium appeared to be kind of, you know, like a freeform, you know, kind of endlessly inspiring, and the kind of creative potential seemed boundless at the time. And not to say that it isn't now, you know, within the, but you know, you kind of fast forward to the present day with the kind of loud, obnoxious, shall we say, unimaginative kind of stadium style drum and bass that's become the kind of mainstay and the kind of common perception of like modern drum and bass production. And it's kind of,
yeah, definitely sort of, it's not drum and bass in my eyes really. It comes from drum and bass, but it should have maybe changed the name, definitely in my eyes, without a doubt. And drum and bass for me is, you know, what it used to be, forward thinking music, which a lot of it isn't nowadays.
Yeah, I remember at the time, I think, so I was quite young at the time, and it was kind of like, for me, it was my church and everything. I was kind of sort of quite distressed by, you know, the way things went down and everything. But like I said, I mean, you see the pattern, don't you? And like, I mean, you think about if you watch like the kind of trajectory of dubstep over the last couple of years as well. And obviously, like, things have been sped up because we've got our broadband now instead of our dial-up and everything. But you know, not just, you know, start drawing too many comparisons because it's a different thing. But I mean, you kind of see the kind of scene kind of reach saturation, don't you? And it goes a certain way. And but I like what you're saying about how you guys kind of, you feel like you're kind of picking up the torch, you know, from where things were left off.
Yeah, because for a lot of people, when that era sort of faded out, drum and bass for them died. I mean, I know, God knows how many people that feel exactly the same way, you know?
Yeah, you're talking to one of them right now, yeah.
Yeah, this is it. So, I mean, yeah, so it kind of, it's just, that's why a lot of people, them sort of people are into our music, because they feel the same way. It's just like, yeah, this is kind of like, because the music was heading in such a futuristic direction back then, and then it just kind of like, just disappeared, and then a load of clones started cloning each other, and it just kind of went downhill, and then it's at where it is now, which I personally just think it's not very experimental anymore, so we're just trying to put that back in. And I think, you know, yeah, we've got more in line with what I suppose dubstep people are doing. But yeah, again, every genre, like, you know, even dubstep, it was experimental, but it's done it on such a quick time. Whereas drum and bass was over, like, say, it's done its thing in 10 years like that. With dubstep, it kind of done it over 4 years or something. Just went up really hard, and then you had all the people cloning, copying each other's bass lines, and similar thing, really. Yeah. And there's a lot of, you know, crap drum dubstep out there.
I suppose, yeah, well, we would do
the good stuff.
Same with, like, I mean, the sped up communication now, you know, like, you know, on the flip side, you know, like, really deluded ideas flow a lot quicker, and like I said, like, clones pop up and stuff at the same time, you know, a lot of wonderful ideas, you know, flow around the globe, and people get to, like, share, and, you know, you've got producers sharing, you know, sharing their webs and everything. It's,
And I think also another thing is, obviously, the bedroom producer, you know, it's brilliant that people have got the ability to produce tunes in their bedroom. You know, back in the day, a lot of thought and a lot of time and a lot of graft had to go into, like, making a tune on the hardware. And, you know, if you wanted to cut things and master things, you used to have to go out and spend a lot of money. So when you're shelling out your money, you want it to be really good and stuff. I mean,
sure.
Bedroom producers now, they also think they're mastering engineers. That's the problem. They're all just, they don't know how to use mastering equipment properly, and they're all making it super loud, limiters on every channel, and it kind of just destroys the music, you know, destroys the dynamics as well. So that's why a lot of tunes just don't sound very good. So, I mean, they just don't know what they're doing, really.
It's funny you saying that, actually. I literally just about an hour ago came from the local music college, and was talking to the guy there who's giving the students there a lecture about compression and mastering and everything, and telling them what to do once they finish their tracks, and, you know, if you're going to plan to master them themselves and everything. And to talk about something similar, I mean, like, you know, with like 2 or 3 clicks now, you know, someone can knock out something that would, you know, someone can have to spend days mangling it, you know, with the actual, you know, pulling plugs out and sticking them in again, you know, with the. What's that?
Yeah, but this is it. People make like 10 tunes a day and stuff, don't they? It's like, it's just hands on. Once they know the equipment, they can do that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, that's fine, you know, because I know a lot of people that make wicked tunes by doing it like that. You know, they're just on the buzz, they know how to use their equipment, but I think the thing that's destroying a lot of it is the bedroom mastering. Just obviously with their cracked waves plugins and whacking the L2 and everything. You know, it's not going to solve and make your tune magic. Do you know what I mean? Just by whacking that on it may make it sound loud, but you know, that's about it. Leave it to the masters.
So you guys had that schooling on the old hardware setups and everything, and now, I mean, would you say that all of your tools have changed much over the years, or?
No, we've just got more equipment. We're
Right.
sort of like 90% hardware. We use Logic to sequence, and you know, a couple of plugins, but pretty much the rest of it's outboard. We've got nice outboard compression and just loads of synths, and yeah, we're just sort of stuck in the old ways. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can't be bothered to do that. That takes ages," but you know, good things take time to make, you know. But you get a better sound out of it. It may take a little longer than your sort of in the box setup, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. And you know, it's what we always known as well.
I think you see a lot of kind of new school of like producers now. Like, I mean, some of the, like, you know, not naming any names or anything, but like some of the dubstep boys and everything, and they'll like come up, you know, digital like you're talking about, and all of a sudden they got, you know, some money from their releases, and they're like buying, you know, the old synths and stuff, and really, and they've got this, realizing they've got this much kind of, you know, thicker, you know, like sound, and that, you know, and that kind of analog warmth that, you know, people pursue, and et cetera, and
yeah, I mean, we have people coming down, yet again, we have people coming down the studio, and they get on the gig, use some of the synths and stuff, and they're like, right, they're going out and instantly buying themselves a bit of hardware, because they realise, you know, it does make a difference when you've got a hardware synth sitting there with all the knobs and faders on, and you can just jam it out and just real-time twist things up, rather than sitting there clicking on your mouse. You know, because there's a lot more fun in it. I think music's like, making music is about having fun and really enjoying yourself and getting into something and being creative. And I find it possible to be creative just with a laptop and a mouse, sitting there with a controller keyboard. I mean, I need that outboard stuff, and I know it's the same for Alex. And obviously when Darren met us, he was in the box pretty much using samples. And now D-Bridge, you know, he went in and brought his gear into the studio and set his stuff up in our studio as well. And he loves outboard stuff now. Like, he's just like, right, Christ. You know, he was sampling records, like these sounds are from records. And when he comes to our studio and started jamming on these synths and stuff, he realised that, like, you know, these sounds can be made like fresh rather than sampling them with all the old analog synths and stuff. So yeah, it totally changed his way of making tunes. Like, he's like, right, and out bought some hardware. But yeah, it's just more fun, you know. If you go to someone's studio and they just make a tune, you go there and there's a laptop and everyone stands around taking turns sitting on the laptop. It's like, there's no fun in that. Come into the studio with like sim setup and get on the synth, starts jamming. That's what it's all about, you know. It all comes together and you're like, yeah.
got that much more tactile thing going on. It's more like a bunch of musicians just banging away on bongos and, you know, playing acoustic guitar and that, you know.
Yeah, it's all jamming, that's right. It's like a band kind of thing, you know. Everyone's got a synthesizer or they're tweaking something. It's like, when you start hearing it come together, it's like, yeah, it's good. It's not like taking turns. It's like everyone just gets together, jams, and you could play a chord and someone's hitting off a bass line that just sort of mixes it. It's like, oh dear, yeah, it's lovely. Get that in, sample that in. And yeah, that's the way music should be enjoyed when you're making it like that. But I know it's a little difficult because a lot of people can't afford the hardware, but, you know, we sacrificed a hell of a lot when we were kids to get the hardware. And, you know, when we saved up and I spent every penny that I'd earned on hardware. So, you know, it can be done. It's just whether you don't want to sort of go in that deep.
With 2009 being a pretty big year for you guys, you feel like, you know, all those pennies you were scrimping for your hardware stuff, I feel like that's all like coming full circle now. I mean, you guys are enjoying the recognition at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 2009 was a really good year. It's pushed it out there, and now 2010 with the Fabric Live CD. There's a lot of exciting things on the books. Me and Alex have got our Non-Plus records, which is really doing really well. And we've got some great artists coming up on that, like eclectic electronic artists. We're going to continue doing our autonomic night, and I just think, yeah, it's just going to be bigger and better things. But at the moment, every month, all the money goes back into the business, and yeah, we're just building stuff still. So yeah, we're still building, but it's definitely looking like a bright future.
It's coming full circle.
Yeah, because well, I was hoping it would do, because, you know, put that amount of time and money into it over the years, you know, it's got to start sort of giving back. And I had lots of people back in the day when I was spending all my money into it and all my time just saying, look, get a 9 to 5, get a decent job and preaching to you, because they don't think being like a musician or anything is a real job sort of thing. But now, yeah, tables are turned, doing what I wanted to do, what I set out to do as a kid. So it's all good.
With the Non-Plus imprint, I mean, can I ask you, what was there any like particular catalysts for that, or?
We always wanted our own label, so it was inevitable that it was going to happen at some point. And you know, we were putting stuff out on Dark Kestrel, exclusively to Dark Kestrel pretty much, and we just felt we needed to have more control, because I like art, really into art and design, so I wanted to have artistic control. Also, we wanted to start putting out artists because we were getting such good material sent to us, and yeah, we wanted to really put a lot of electronic music out as well, different tempo stuff. So yeah, Non-Plus was just the way to go. We started it and it's going really well at the moment. Actually, we've got some great artists lined up, like Warp artist Jimmy Edgar. We've got Carl Hall working on something for us, which is like a Detroit boy, making some wicked stuff. Actress, great wonky techno stuff. Yeah, loads of stuff on ASC album coming out in the next few months, which is sounding really good.
I warmed up for ASC back in the day. Saw the Non-Plus 12 shop the other day, and it was it was good to see that name again. I was just remembering that a lot of the more kind of he was definitely on like a deeper tip back then. You know, I used to play it alongside my good-looking stuff and Blame and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, because he was just feeling quite bored and disheartened with the whole scene, and then he said like he started listening to some stuff we were doing, and it was like, right, I can connect with this. This is something I know. Do you know what I mean? And he started sending us bits, and slowly he developed his new sound, as I like to say, by sending us all these bits, and they were saying, this is nice, I like this, keep going. And eventually it got to a point where we had a fair few tunes from him, and it was like, yeah, these are really good tunes. And he's got a new sound about him, which fits in with what we're doing. So we just said, yeah, we'd like you to sort of like write an album, and then we put out his 12, and the album's complete now. And yeah, he's featured very heavy in the Autonomic podcast, so it's good to be able to put him out. Like Darren put out Consequence, same story, Consequence and Darren T-Bridge. There's definitely some good music about.
So you can almost see like a kind of resurgence in some way of like, you know, some of the older artists, like you said, who kind of drifted away and stuff, as well as like, you know, kind of embracing like a lot of the new guys, and just tying in with what you were saying earlier on about like, you know, you kind of picking up the torch from like back in the day as it was. I mean my initial thoughts when I first heard Comanche on Dark Kestrel was kind of, you know, like I said, the surprise that there was, you know, a tune like that, and kind of I remember there was quite an impassioned blog piece that I read by I think it was either Leo or Chris Blue Martin, and it was regarding the pressure they felt to produce tracks that they felt would conform in some way to kind of expectations of what the majority of modern drum and bass has become. Apparently they became so frustrated with the project that they trashed the majority of it and started again, stating, you know, will what we do after this be dance floor fodder that will be on a playlist of DJs X, Y and Z? Perhaps not. Will it be music of substance and a body of work we'll be proud of in years to come? Yes. So I thought that really resonated with me. I thought that was wicked, you know. And do you guys share any of those sentiments, or like?
I think that was Blue Martin. I remember him saying that they literally heard the stuff that was coming out and what we were doing, and it's just like, right, scrap the album and start again, which was really good compliment. I mean, it's great to hear that. But I mean, there's a lot of people from back in the day that are obviously, you know, people are disheartened with what happened to drum and bass. So there's a lot of people coming back to sort of our sound, what we're doing now, because when you come to an autonomic night, it's quite good, because you can quite see an older crowd in our room as well. The people that obviously gave up going to drum and bass clubs and listening to drum and bass, but like obviously this is relighted sort of their fire of what they once loved. So they're coming out, partying, and I have a lot of friends that stopped listening to drum and bass back in the day, and they're listening to our stuff now. I love the podcast. really into the sound. It reminds me of the old days, but like just with a twist. And it's good to hear that, yeah. When you hear that sort of thing, it just makes it all worthwhile, you know? What we're doing is definitely worthwhile.
So do you almost feel there's like quite a lot of merit to that statement? There's some kind of like resurgence or whatever. Like, so I remember when I heard that tune of yours, around about the same time I heard Breakage's album and D Bridges' Gemini Principle, and I remember just, you know, it kind of evoked you know, a lot of those feelings, you know, when I was younger and was really into the whole thing. And I remember thinking like, you know, oh hang on, you know, something's happening.
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of like picked up the ears of a lot of grumpy old junglists.
So the actual vibe on the night, I mean, obviously I'm on the other side of the globe. I haven't been able to be in attendance or anything. So the actual vibe on the night, you're saying, is kind of, you know, it's just, you know, proper like how it should be, and just...
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, because it was one of them things with, are we going to pull in a big crowd? I mean, it's room 3 in Fabric, but it's like one of the smaller rooms, but that room's like a club within a club, and yeah, it's been great. I mean, every time we've had a night there now, I think, and it's just been rammed. Every time, just like packed clean out. People, like the first night, people were sort of like one in, one out on the stairs to get into the room, and it's just great to see like a crowd of people, sort of like the new people, the new listeners, but there's also a lot of older people in there that are obviously, yeah, from back in the day listening to sort of drum and bass and stuff. So great vibe all round though, really great vibe, just one big party. See how it should be, eclectic mix of music. You know, so people, they don't know what to expect on each flyer. It's like, who's going to be playing this time? And, you know, what are they going to be playing? It's quite a lot of freedom involved on the night, so it's great.
So the actual vibe on the night, I mean, for those of us, you know, who aren't actually in London, like, we can just look to the Autonomic podcast, and, you know, that's the kind of flavours you're kind of mixing up on the night, yeah? Yeah,
expect that. I mean, the warm-up's normally quite eclectic. Whoever does the warm-up is like an eclectic mix, and then you'll go Autonomic, and then it could be some techno artist, or it could be a dubstep artist. It's pretty mixed up. But all round, it's just good electronic music, which is great to go out and listen to in a club, you know?
Yeah, that's one thing I was looking to kind of draw attention to for like some of our listeners on the show who might have just heard just a few of the drum and bass bits, but I mean, you guys appear to have nailed a number of tempos, genres. I mean, it's all music at the end of the day, obviously, you know, but you know, you got kind of, I don't like putting names to things, but you know, you got your kind of electronic soul, drum and bass, dubstep tempos, and now with your new tracks, is it Let's Talk and By Coding, is it? Or?
Yeah, the coding, yeah.
They appear to be on a more kind of, you know, shuffly kind of... What's that, sorry?
Vicodin.
By Coding. It sounds like something you take off.
Vicodin. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just, yeah, because we like, when we listen to, it's multi-tempo music, you know. I don't listen to drum and bass indoors, I know Alex doesn't. So it's like, we just want to do what we do at multiple tempos. And yeah, sort of whether it be 140, 115, just a mixture really. It's good to sort of push that out as well, and I've been playing sort of a lot of our 135, 140 BPM stuff in clubs at the moment, which is good. And slowly, hopefully easing some of like, maybe start off with some of the more slower techno things like Let's Talk. But I think people are a lot more open now because a lot of people know the podcast, so they kind of expect something a little bit more eclectic. So it's not sort of like out of the blue. If I was to start off with like Let's Talk and go into some dubstep, into drum and bass, autonomic stuff, like, I don't think it shocks people. They kind of know when they hear it, it's going to be sort of good music.
Those are always the fun nights as well. I mean, there's not a lot of mystery to it. You know, you just kind of, you know, good night out. You're just kind of changing tempo, changing mood, keeping people interested. I just sometimes despair when there's some guy just, you know, just driving it. We're like,
I mean, if you go out and listen, it's a night of dubstep and everyone's playing the same sort of style of music, or you go drum and bass, everyone's playing the same music. It's like people can quite easily just drift off and go and have a fag for 40 minutes, so I mean, have a smoke and go to the bar and just kind of ignore the music because you know you can come back and carry on listening to it. But with a good night of electronic music, it's just, you know, you want to wait for the next artist because you know it's going to be something completely different. keeps them interested, yeah. You know, this isn't something that's been made on the digital, it's kind of instrumental. There's a lot of people that are doing instrumental style tunes out there, but I think they're just kind of lacking certain things. With me and Alex, we know each other inside out with kids, grew up together, so, you know, we kind of just know what we like, what sounds we like. We don't try to make a sound, you know, it just happens, it just comes out.
I think like a lot of the artists who kind of do it for me and get played on this show as well, I mean, there's like a certain, you know, degree of like sincerity. You can always tell when the sincerity's there, you know, like you know, a dubstep scene reaches saturation and you get, you know, 1,000 copycats popping up and blah blah blah, and that kind of, that's why it's always good, like with like music of substance, you know, like stuff that's, you know, is going to be timeless and it isn't going to have a shelf life, you know. It's good.
Yeah, that's why we try to keep things fresh, and we're always trying to move on, because the problem is when you get stuck in that thing where everyone's copying a sort of style, think, right, okay, oh, everyone's into that instrumental at the moment, let's all copy that and pump that around. It's like, we never stay and carry on doing that, we've been moving on. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like every song we put out now, I mean, a lot of stuff's still on sort of dub plate or isn't released, so people don't really know, but we're just moving on and on and on. We never stick to a certain sound, we're just pushing for something different every time. So we never get sort of caught up in the whole clone thing with everyone copying each other. We just, if someone starts to copy and do that, we just move on, just try and get a different sound. Or switch the tempo. So it keeps it fresh a bit.
So over the last year with the Best Breakthrough Producers and DJ Mag, you're pretty stoked about that, the two of you?
I really liked it, touch, yeah, I didn't expect that. It was like someone said, oh, you're nominated for Best Breakthrough Producers DJ Magazine. I was like, really? And yeah, to win it was just like, it was great. It's good to see that, so obviously there's people taking note of what we're doing, which is really good. It all helps on the CV.
So what are your guys' hopes for the next year then, you reckon, like with, how do you want to see Non-Plus developing? Like you said, you've got quite an interesting roster of artists coming up.
Yeah, we're just going to keep pushing our label Non-Plus now, with the artists. Got great material coming out, so that should just get stronger and stronger and more widely known this year. Me and Al sat down and we're writing an instrumental album, which probably won't be out till the end of the year now, because we just scrapped everything and started writing again. And we're not going to play the tracks to anyone, so it should be nice and fresh when it does come out. And yeah, I think Darren D. writing his second album. He's in the process of doing that, which should be out sometime this year. And we're also both starting an autonomic label as well, which is going to house like artists that we've either argued over whose label it's going to go on, or just stuff that doesn't quite fit our labels that we want to put out. So we'll have another outlet, because a lot of the thing is there's so much material that we've got backed up that a lot of people are sort of moaning that there's not enough autonomic style material to be DJing. So yeah, another label, just pump it out, just get all the tunes out to people so they've got something to play and listen to.
So you guys finding much time for gigs or anything? So I was going to ask you how obviously like you guys coming at things a little bit differently than like some of the producers out there. I mean, how do you find like the sounds received in different parts of the world, especially, you know, with like common conceptions about, you know, what people are expecting from like a drum and bass night? I mean, do you guys get booked by discerning promoters who know what to expect, or do you ever still have people kind of shouting at you to kind of rinse it out?
I've had it's odd, because I mean I've played a lot of places in Europe now, but we all have, and because of the podcast, it's reached out to all these countries already, so it's not like you're coming from something completely alien. They've already kind of got the gist of it, and you know, you've got your fans from the podcast, so there's always a fan base out there, even if you do have like someone with their top off going harder, faster, I just tend to ignore them sort of people.
Yeah, that guy.
It's just like, I'll never put it down and just sort of like, I'll just carry on playing what we're doing, never sort of giving to the crowd because someone wants me to play something hard and fast, but that's not what we do. So, you know,
we all love
wait
that guy, don't we?
Wait for the next DJ, yeah. So, but it's been picked up really well. I mean, there's always like a fan base, and there's always people that really enjoy it. And even if people, like, I've had some people that are like, come up to me and it's like, when you started, we weren't too sure what was going on. It's like, how's he playing this in a club? This isn't club music. This is sitting indoors music. And then they said, but by the time you finished your hour and a half set, I'm completely immersed in it and just thought that was absolutely amazing. But, oh, brilliant. So I get a lot of that. That people are just like, oh, what on earth is he doing? By the end of it, they're just completely into it, just lost in it.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to be jumping around, going berserk to a DJ set. You know, I've never been a dancer. I don't go out and never went out and danced in clubs. I just went, chilled out, absorbed the music, loved it, had a drink, chatted. You know, it's just about enjoying yourself, going out and enjoying yourself. Standing there, just because you're standing there not moving doesn't mean you're not enjoying it.
Thinking about what you're listening
to. Yeah, you're just absorbing the sound and enjoying the music. And yeah, there's a lot of people that come up and say that. Just sort of, yeah, they're just immersed in it. It's a really nice way to break up some of these gigs, like when you come in and do something. But it's not all chilled out anyway. You know, it's got big bass lines, big bottom end. It's just people aren't used to it. So I suppose they call it sort of chilled out music because it's not 20 breaks and an Amon running on top of each other and a Reese bass line. But
we've seen you guys over here soon, yeah?
Yeah, very soon. I think so.
You're doing the right thing. We've got blistering hot summer going on here, and I understand you guys are pretty much snowed in over there.
Yeah, no, we're completely snowed in, so it'd be nice to get out of this. It's absolutely driving up the wall. So to be able to pack my shorts and a couple of shirts and come over is going to be great. Get away from this.
I think you're going to find there's going to be quite a wide appreciative audience down here, and you're going to have cold crisp beers in the sun, a nice crisp sound system out in kind of subtropical bush right on the beach. I've never actually been to the Explore Festival because I've only been in New Zealand for 2 years now, and it comes around every 2 years. But yeah, I've heard, and I'll be there. I'll come introduce myself, and I mean that's what it's all about as well. Just like good music, you know, outdoors. You know, you're just dancing on the grass. You know,
Yeah, no, I'm really fortunate. I've had a few people tell me about that. Said it's going to be really good. So. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. As I say, I need to get away from this snow. It's driving me mad. It'd be lovely to get over there. I've heard nothing but good things, and yeah, really looking forward to it. Not looking forward to the flight, but that's what Valium's for.
They look after it, yeah. You break it down to essentials, you know, you eat, sleep, piss, eat, sleep, do it all again, watch a movie.
Yeah,
it'll be over before you know it.
24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
Ideal. Well, we're all looking forward to the Fabric compilation, and we'll be promoting it on the station here.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And like I said, you can come over and enjoy some Kiwi sunshine over here.
Yeah, will do. We'll be over there soon.
Well, it's good to have you on the show. Like I said, we've been playlisting the tracks, I've been playing them on the radio for a while now. So it's good to hear your voice and chat a bit about what's going on behind the scenes. So yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah, no, likewise. It's been nice doing it. Right.
So we'll be seeing you next month.
Yeah, few beers, good food. I've heard there's loads of good food over there. So Darren tells me that New Zealand is great food. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, it's all there.
I'm a big food person, so food, beer, I'm happy.
Yeah, they're lovely people. They'll look after you.
Excellent stuff.
No worries, we'll take care and wrap up warm.
Yep, I will do. Just going to head off now and carry on doing business, so
yeah. Well, yeah, good luck with that, and yeah, just here's the next year or so, and we'll be seeing you for some summer fun out in the bush, out in the Wild West.
Yeah, I'll see you in a month's time.
Ideal. Thanks a lot, Chief.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Right then.
Cheers.
So for all of you locked into the late night session, just talking to one half of Instrumental there. That was Damon Kirker, one half Instrumental, along with Al Green. So in the background during the interview there, we had the promo mix, the forthcoming Fabric Live CD, Fabric Live 50, mixed by D-Bridge and Instrumental. So for anyone keen to do some more digging, got a little list of websites for you here. Anyone wants to know more, of course, email us studio@basefm.co.nz. and we will share our knowledge with you. For more for Instrumental, you can go to myspace.com/instrumentaluk. For the record label Non-Plus, we've got myspace.com/non-plus records. And for the list of excellent autonomic podcasts, which is a range of influences on the artists as well as music they consider worthy and some of their own productions, that'll be www.club-autonomic.com. You can subscribe to the monthly podcast.